Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to travel alone. Okay, the first place that I went when I traveled by myself, I flew out to St. Louis, and this was I want to say this was 2021. So the first thing that I did before taking the trip, I did some research. You want to search the area, know where you are staying. Okay. I chose to stay downtown in St. Louis. I stayed at the Hyatt. Also, you can call airports, taxis if you're not sure how to navigate and figure out if it's a safe area. Uh, when you want to create an itinerary, this is a way to help you get started so that way you don't get completely nervous. I mean, you're going to be a little nervous when you're traveling by yourself if you've never done it. So you want to make sure that you're scoping the area. If you have to go on satellite, Google Earth, what have you, to see what you're looking at, look up reviews, call restaurants. This is another way to determine if it's somewhere you want to stay. Again, call cab companies. The hotels down there can make suggestions. All right. For me, uh, traveling alone is fun, it's relaxing, and it can be therapeutic. And I will begin to create more content pertaining to solo travel because I definitely plan to do that more in 2023. So, Happy New Year! um, so, when I went to St. Louis, I flew out there in particular for this restaurant called Sweetie Pies. I heard many people rave about it. If you never watched the show Sweetie Pies, but I can tell you the food is good. The fried chicken, the ribs, oh, it's just really good. The fish, yummy. The area is really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I did go to the hood one time. Um, Not in St. Louis, but it's a town called East St. Louis in Illinois. And what I did was I took a lift over the bridge. It's like maybe like 5 minutes into the town. Um, the Lyft driver did have me a little scared at one point, but I was like, you know what? I'm from the city. I could handle it. So I knew that I will be okay. I just trust my instinct and, don't have a smile on your face and just be an easy target. Just look like you belong, less eye contact, check your surroundings. And that's just anywhere when you're traveling by yourself. Be alert, know what's going on. Don't have headphones in your ear at all times and be in your phone like this. You want to make sure you're paying attention. Okay, so that way you're not a target, especially if you're traveling as a woman. But this applies to anyone, to them, they, he, she, binary, non-binary. This applies to everyone. Okay, so if you're traveling alone, just you want to make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. When I went to Mexico for the first time, when I get nervous, I pay attention. I'm kind of like opposite of what some people may do. They may freak out, don't pay attention to detail. First thing I did, I called the hotel. I used an app. I don't even know if this app still exists, Tango. Also, some hotels may use WhatsApp. Um, and that's another way to save money when you're calling overseas. Or if you have part of your plan, an international plan, um, you may be able to use that plan to save money as well, an international plan, so that when you're calling the hotels to get information, you want to make sure the location is close to the mall, close to activities, so that way you don't really have to go out your way or pay X amount of dollars that can contribute and be very, very expensive. So you want to try to book a hotel that's kind of close to everything, close to the beach, close to the clubs if you're into the nightlife. close to eateries, and again, like the mall and things of that nature. So that way, when you get there, pretty much everything's in either walking distance, or if you're driving a rental, or if you're taking public transportation, it's convenient. I like, for me personally, I like to be in an area where pretty much everything is in walking distance or driving, things of that nature. I don't drive, but that's another story. But that's what I do. I like to choose a hotel that is close to the festivities. That's what I like. So again, when I was going to Mexico for the first time, I'm calling the airport, I'm calling the cabs, I'm calling the hotel just to determine what amenities they offer, what is their policy in terms of providing transportation to and from the hotel and to the airport. What I learned also is if you're going to a city like Mexico, well, the country of Mexico, but if you're going to like Cancun, some tips. You want to make sure that you are not using a taxi that is not tied to the hotel. I'm going to say this again. When you are traveling, even if you're traveling alone, make sure you use a taxi that is by the hotel, that's provided from the hotel, just to make sure that you're safe. Also, know where the embassy is located. And this is for any country you go to. Always know where the embassy is located. That's for safety purposes. I am American, so yes, it's very important that you know these things. All right. And again, be aware of your surroundings, because that's very important. Okay. So another thing that I learned just by traveling is just to have an open mind. Understand that your culture may be different from others. So come in with an open mind. If people don't speak English and you know this in advance, maybe try to learn the language before you go so you can kind of understand. You'll know that sometimes when you pick up the language or just know some words, people from different countries will be more helpful to you and want to help you. When I was in Mexico, I was rusty on my Spanish, but I started to remember when I got there, people were very helpful. They treated me like I felt like a celebrity. It was just amazing. It was a great time. I went to some of the clubs, and this was back in like 2015 when I first went. Then I went to Mexico, I want to say it was like back in 2020, and then 2021, and then I went this year. So I've been to Cancun, Cabo, Cozumel. Where else have I been? Oh yeah, uh, Costa Maya. Costa Maya is nice too. So again, you want to just be mindful when you're traveling by yourself and get familiar with the area. And then you can even ask some of the locals, believe it or not. Just follow that inner voice. Don't ignore that intuition. For me, when I'm traveling by myself, I go based on how I'm feeling. If I go with my gut, if I feel like I can trust the person, that's what I'm going with. If not, mm, it doesn't steer me wrong. I'm always right in terms of that. I always go with my gut. Like I've met people, like when I went to Jamaica, I met people from the hotel. We hung out, me and a couple of friends when I did go with someone. I never been to Jamaica by myself, but I plan to do that. But that's what I've learned is when you travel by yourself, you want to be alert, get familiar with the area, contact the cabs. I'm not saying in Mexico though, but contact cab companies that are referred by the company, um, by the hotel. Okay. And if you're going to go off the resort, okay, make sure you have arranged travel from the hotel to and from if you're going to go off the resort, because I like to go off off the resort because I want to see the authenticity of the town, of the city, or the outskirts. So, yes, I will arrange for travel to take part in excursions. So that's another way to get off the resort. If you feel like you're shy or you're not sure about your judgment when it comes to people, just have arranged travel so that way you can partake in different activities. Like, for example, I did kind of like a club crawl, I think that's called, where you do like club hopping. I paid like $99 when I was staying in Cabo, when I was in Cabo, Mexico. Not Cabo San Lucas, but it's De Los Cabos or something of that nature. It's like De Los Cabo, which was like 15 minutes from Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. So I went on Viator, Viator.com, and I'll make sure I include the link for you. Um, that's a really great site, along with Expedia.com. You would click on things to do on Expedia.com so that way you can see what activities are happening at that time when you're staying there. You would choose the date and it will populate activities that are available around that time that you could pay for and take advantage of. And I've used Viator many times and I have not been disappointed at all. I've used it when I went to Vegas, which was still in the States, in the United States. I've used it for Cabo, where I went to purchase that nightclub tour situation, not situation, but nightclub event where you got to pay $99, open bar, popping bottles, and it was my birthday month, so it was like so lit, okay? I was hanging out with people I didn't know because the way they do it, they pick a group of people and they all pay a flat fee. So we all paid $99 and we had our own VIP and we were popping bottles. We got to know each other. I met some women from New York and Georgia and we just had a great time. We all just like looked out for each other. It was so awesome. We went to like 3 clubs. We went to Mandala was one. I'm trying to think of the other clubs. There were a few. It looks like Cancun downtown in a sense because there's some of the same clubs. I believe we went to Senor Frog as well, and then there was another club I just can't think of right now. But yeah, try it out. Go to Viator, Viator.com. If the club is not for you, trust me, they have plenty of activities. If you go on that website or Expedia.com, or even when you're booking your hotel, if you go to Booking.com, they'll make suggestions of activities and things that you might want to do. And the same rule applies if you're going with a family and you don't want to do something that's like not family appropriate per se. You can go on onto these sites that I've mentioned and uh, partake in activities that would apply and be best suited for the family. So there's so many things that you could do when you're traveling, but not to get off topic, when you're traveling solo, okay, make sure you have things pre-planned ahead of time. Get a sense of what you want to do, in a sense of beforehand, like what you want to do. Because like if you get there and you're not free spirit like me, I can go with the flow. But it's good to have some kind of structure when you're first traveling by yourself. All right. And honestly, if you're traveling by yourself, I think you have to have some kind of level of comfortability to be by yourself. So, if you're nervous about traveling by yourself, maybe start somewhere local first. Like maybe take yourself out to dinner in a different town or state. Get in a habit of doing things more by yourself. So that way, when you go out of town, or out of the country, you feel a lot more comfortable and not so stressed, not so nervous. And then you know how to navigate more and better because you've been traveling on your own within the states. So, when you go out the country, also look up their policies, look up their rules, requirements, and things. know what you can and cannot do, okay? Because you don't want to end up in like somebody's jail over there, okay? You don't want that. So you want to make sure you know things before you go, okay? But that's all I have right now, y'all. And I'll begin posting my solo travels and even travels where I've went with people. But it's best to travel a lot of times by yourself because you have, I swear, it's more fun and you learn more about yourself when you're traveling on your own and you have a great time. I when I went to Mexico for the first time by myself in Cabo, man, I had a ball. I did the nightclub tour. I went on the beach by myself. I didn't swim, but I did swim with the dolphins, and I was petrified. I was scared, nervous, happy, all these emotions at one time, but I did it, and I told myself, I said, if I could do this, I could do anything. So, seize the day. It's 2023. Go out there, be great, do things that you are not comfortable doing, but do them. So that way you can reach your higher self and, not be in that box. Get out of your shell, you know, seize the day. All right, y'all. So, again, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for your support. I love you all. Okay. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so that way I can give you more content. All right. Happy New Year.